Tonight on Sports Sunday, who's headed to the ATL? A shocker in Who Dat Nation. We'll show you how the Rams took down the Saints and punched their ticket to Super Bowl 53.
Crowd's going crazy as there's no flag right on the Saints sideline.
And not one, but two overtime endings. Tom Brady takes down Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to meet the Rams in Atlanta. The Rockets dug deep to grind out an overtime thriller.
Ties the game!
And the beat goes on for James Harden, the reigning MVP, showing no signs of letting up.
We are not boxing out.
You will hear from Mansa L, Coach L. She's coaching boys basketball at Cy Springs, breaking barriers and loving it.
I am intense. I'm very intense.
Time to get this party started. 30 minutes of Sports Sunday starts right now.
Live from KPRC Channel 2, this is Sports Sunday.
Hi, everybody. You have found the right place to land for the next half hour. Great to have you with us. Randy, Adam, and Laney with you. And then there were two. Next stop, Super Bowl 53 here in a couple of weeks. A lot to get to tonight. We're going to have some fun. Welcome into Sports Sunday.
Are we going to have fun, though? Because I'm still upset from the way that things went.
Shut her down early.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
She was not happy.
A little bit to talk about, a little controversy in the first game, and a lot of controversy in the other game as well.
All right, we're going to dive into it. Let's get to the big story. Unless you ran to that marathon and you're like knocked out tonight or something, it is football. The road to Super Bowl 53. Let's start Rams Saints. Brutal ending for the Saints, guys. Under 2 minutes to go. Tie game. Receiver Tommy Lee Lewis drilled in the head. No flag. Are you kidding me?
Ridiculous.
A little bit early, I would say as well. And the NFL, according to Sean Payton, acknowledging the same.
Should have been a penalty, allow the Saints to drain nearly all the clock. Instead, New Orleans kicks a field goal. Greg Zuerlein answered with a 48-yarder. We got a little overtime.
And that's where Drew Brees throws that when he gets hit and it's picked off. John Johnson has it, so Zuerlein from a little bit further, and it wouldn't even matter. 57 yards away, no problem, 26-23, and they're going to Atlanta.
Just so happy for these players, for these coaches, but a lot of respect for the Saints, and we're excited about getting a chance to move on and play in Atlanta.
Definitely went through a whole gamut of emotions when the field goal went in, from excited to emotional to just overwhelmingly happy, and very excited, man. Get to play in the Super Bowl, and we earned it. We deserve it.
All right, let's talk more about the play everybody is still talking about. The Brees to Tommy Lee Lewis, no call. Late in the fourth, tied at 20. What do y'all think?
Even right there at the end. Listen to Jared Goff. We're happy to be there. We earned it. He was already trying to deflect that.
I know. I'm like, come on. You absolutely did not deserve it, because that play right there changed the entire course of the game. And I just think it's ridiculous. If we pull it up and we look at this play one more time here, it was not only, at the very least, a pass interference, but that's helmet to helmet. That's exactly what they call it there, as helmet to helmet, that they've been doing all season long. They've been calling it even when it's not. And then right here on this game-changing play, they decide the no call. I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it was not a reviewable play. It was outside the 2 minute. You and I were just talking about this, Wex. You hate to see a play like this in a crucial game like this, the championship game in the NFC.
So many plays you can't review. This happens to be one of them. But again, these are the plays that makes people so mad, because you shouldn't have to review it. We were all saying live action. How could you?
From every angle.
It's just they're so early.
Could have been a catchable ball. Here's some reaction from New Orleans.
Just getting off the phone with the league office. They blew the call, and man, there were a lot of opportunities though, but that call puts it 1st and 10. We're on an E3 plays, and it's a game-changing call.
Being that it happened right there in front of the person who would be the one making that call, and everyone in the stands and everyone watching at home on TV, and that makes it even more difficult.
So understandably, Twitter absolutely blew up after that play. J.J. Watt weighing in. There needs to be some form of accountability, he says. There just needs to be. Also, LeBron, who first, I'll add, tweeted congratulations to his fellow LA team, but then he even had some words and emojis. He said, hate to see that happen in such a great game. And Wex, this was your favorite right here.
Well, it still sounds weird, LeBron's LA team, like he's
right.
LA. But this is Todd Gurley, who obviously is just having fun with it. Someone doctored up a photo of them. together with the referee in his
How about
jersey.
that?
So he decided
Even
to tweet
he's
it
poking
out.
fun at it.
So they all saw what happened, but they're the ones moving on.
What a way to end it there in New Orleans. The Rams punching their ticket. They're moving on to Super Bowl 53. All right, one team in. Then we had the nightcap. AFC Championship late game. Tom Brady looking for his 9th trip to the Super Bowl. Yes, 9th trip if they got the win. Pats in KC. The finish was wild. Under a minute left. Chiefs down 3. Mahomes finds Demarcus Robinson. That would set up the game-tying field goal, Laney.
Yeah, then New England gets the ball to start overtime, and Tom Brady does what Tom Brady does. He converts on 3rd and 10, not once, not twice, but actually 3 times.
Clutch.
And then the old controversy from the other game because the Chiefs never see the football in overtime. Rex Burkhead plunges in for the game winner. That's the opening possession of overtime, and that's the ending possession of overtime. Super Bowl bound Patriots. When have we heard that before?
Down but not out, and we found a way to play our best the last 4 games. Buffalo, Jets, had the bye, played great against Chargers, played really well today, and we're going to need one more great game. So that was pretty great way to end it. I was probably as excited as I've been in a long time, and a lot of things, one play here, one play there, could have changed everything, but that's football, and just proud of our team.
All right, so the matchup is set. I'll be there here in a couple of weeks in Atlanta. Rams and the Patriots, a rematch. Dial it back a little bit to Super Bowl 36, where the legend of Tom Brady was actually born and the New England dynasty began, and they will meet again here in a couple of weeks. What do you think about this?
Well, again,
we'll
with that soundbite from the quarterback, he said any one play could have changed things, like maybe an offsides call against the Chiefs, and 2 plays later, you had what we had.
Absolutely.
Well, I think I learned my lesson from today of picking Mahomes and the Chiefs to win it, so I don't think I'm going to pick against Brady against Jared Goff. I think I'm going with Brady.
I love it. This will get a lot of the attention. Obviously, Tom Brady going back a night time. He's 41 years old. Belichick, all that whole deal. But on the other side, you've got you got Brady obviously doing his thing, going up against the 24-year-old Jared Goff and this dangerous Rams team. I think it's going to be a great game. I am leaning towards the Patriots. I just think they've got the magical touch in these big games.
It's a lot less dangerous Rams team when Todd Gurley is what he was basically in this postseason. I know he had 100 yards a week ago, but he just does not look like himself today. He was I would say he's a non-factor, except he contributed to an interception with his inability to catch the football today. So I think that takes him down a big notch or 2. Vegas said the Rams are favored, and it's already switched. In just a couple of hours, the Patriots are now the money favorite, just a slight 1.5 pointer.
We'll see how that evolves here in the next couple of weeks. How about the other side of the ball now? Patriots were 7th in scoring defense. Rams obviously have plenty of big names on defense, headlined by who perhaps could be the best defensive player out there, Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I like the Rams defense because of what you just saw right there, their ability to force turnovers, but that's a little different when you're going up against Tom Brady and someone who's so great on that big stage.
In-season acquisition, Dante Fowler making the play right there, but I don't think there's any question Aaron Donald's the defensive player of the year. He's played like it all season, played like it in the postseason. He better play like it in one more game in the postseason.
How about Wade Phillips going to the Super Bowl?
Oh my gosh, the media, if they don't already love him, they're going to now.
Look forward, hopefully get a chance to catch up with him. Good stuff. Super Bowl 53 here in a couple of weeks in Atlanta.
They find Gordon. Gordon puts up a 3. Bang! He ties the game. 2 seconds remaining. Caldwell Pope at the buzzer. 1 go, and we go to overtime.
Yeah, that was part of Eric Gordon's big night there at Toyota Center last night, where he played a huge part of the Rockets' rally from 21 points down. Gordon still coming back from that knee injury, gutted it out, played 32 minutes, 8 to 10 more minutes actually than were planned, finished with 30 points, including 5 3-pointers on a night the Rockets knocked down 25 on 68 attempts. Wex?
None bigger than that one, and he should have some help as early as tomorrow. Kenneth Faried bought out yesterday by the Nets, and as we reported late that evening, he is expected to sign with the Houston Rockets, give him a lot of help underneath with Clint Capella out, big-time offensive rebounder, and he's even been teammates with James Harden before, back in 2014 on Team USA.
Yep, that's right. Faried will be playing once again alongside James Harden. And to just put into perspective the historic things we are witnessing right now from the MVP, over the last 3 games, he's had 163 points, all unassisted, the most in history by a long shot. The next closest was his teammate, Chris Paul, who had 88 way back in 2009. So here's a look at some more of the absolutely crazy things we're seeing from the Beard.
For 19 straight games now, James Harden has led all players in the league outright in scoring.
And make it 55 and counting for James Harden.
And over the past 20 games, Harden is averaging 41.9 points per game and has now passed LeBron with the most 50-point games in his career with 13.
Harden trying to get free. Down to 3, down to 2. It's a 3. Good! Good!
In the grill of Draymond Green.
Still, as Harden finally earns the respect he deserves for his offensive play.
The step back 3 is an iconic shot, just like the skyhook, just like the dream shake.
The narrative continues about his lack of defense despite being a top post defender in the league and ranked 4th in steals.
It's just they're trying to find something that he's not Superman at, and they're having a hard time. So, again, I think his defense has been underrated for a while. And every once in a while, guess what? He'll probably take a play off and they'll zoom in and go, oh, look, you could do that for every player in the NBA if you wanted to. It's just a narrative that you want to make.
But Harden has spent his entire career blocking out the noise. He's focused on more important things.
That's why my job to wonder why I don't get enough credit for this and that. My job is to go out there and hoop, and be the gamer that I am. I love to hoop. I love to play basketball. So I don't try to sit back and figure out why I don't get credit for this and that. It's not. If I did that, I'd go crazy.
Tough one tomorrow in Philly. Then Wednesday, a trip to Manhattan against the Knicks. In his career, Harden averages better than 27 points per game against the Knicks while shooting 40% from deep. Guys?
All right, thanks, Lanny. Harden's hot streak got us to thinking a little bit about some of the other dominant runs we've seen by Houston athletes over the years. A lot of things come to mind. What are some that stick out for you, Wex? We've got a bunch to choose from here.
How about the big unit? Anybody remember what he did in 2 short months with the Astros in late 1998, plus the postseason? He was almost unbeatable, 10 wins and 11 starts. 4 of those games, he went the distance. A lot of people still just remember the postseason and think he was terrible because he didn't win his 2 games, but he had a 1.93 ERA and struck out 17 hitters in 14 innings. But again, that was the year they lost to Kevin Brown and Kevin Brown and Kevin Brown and the Padres.
I remember watching all those, but he was fun to watch.
The Dome was absolutely electric every time he got the ball.
Short time he was here. I mean, he was something to watch indeed. All right, let's talk now about, I think, Earl Campbell. Best season for the Tyler Rose, 1980. Led the NFL with 1,934 yards. That was the second best in pro football history behind OJ's 2,003 yards in 1973. From mid-October to mid-November, Earl rushed for more than 1,000 in just 6 games, including 3 200-yard outings. Rushed for 200-plus yards 4 different times. Teams were locked in him all year, carried at 373, averaged over 5 yards a carry.
173 carries.
This guy was incredible, and what a run he had there. That was 1980 of the seasons he had. That one really stood out, I thought.
Okay, I'm going a little bit more recent, but I'll stay on the gridiron. J.J. Watt in 2014, Defensive Player of the Year. He finished with 20.5 sacks, also scored 5 touchdowns that year. Over a 2-month stretch in 2014, 99 scored TDs, receiving off a pick 6 and on a fumble return. Not a bad run for a defensive guy.
It was an unbelievable defensive year, but as she said, 5 touchdowns from J.J. Watt.
I want to see more from that from J.J. Is that asking too much?
Yeah, he wasn't good enough
more
this
touchdowns?
year. Well, they didn't use him on offense this year.
All right, we're going to take a break. Still to come on Sports Sunday. The debate is brewing again. This time, the presidents of Texas and Texas A&M, they're weighing in on the football future between the Longhorns and the Aggies. We'll talk about it.
We are not boxing out.
They better listen. That's Mansa L on the court, holding court, coaching the boys. She's breaking barriers. I've got her story coming up.
To be alongside of a humanitarian like that and a guy who has gone through the ups and the downs and has seen stuff and been there is something special. So I'm humbled to go, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, that was George Springer just the other day at Astros Radio as he gets ready for a very big honor tomorrow. The former World Series MVP will serve as a grand marshal for the Martin Luther King Jr. Parade alongside Congressman and civil rights icon John Lewis.
On the court, Kelvin Sampson and the Cougars will spend some more time in the top 25. U of H picking up another tough road win this past weekend. They dropped South Florida 69-60. Still just the one loss on the season for the Cougs. They return home on Wednesday for East Carolina.
It's like Coleman will create something. Goes by the freshman, finds Febres in the corner, and he comes up huge.
That's how it sounded last night. Horns with a 72 win over number 20 Oklahoma. Westfield alum Jace Fabrice with a late 3 to ice it. UT now 3-3 in Big 12 play. The real story to come out of the Irwin Center was this guy, Matthew McConaughey, on the UT bench and rocking the burnt orange suit. I don't think many other people can pull that off. What do you guys think?
I think he can pull it off.
Too, doesn't he?
I think he can pull it off well, yeah.
Does he have a vest on underneath that?
Well, on top of all that, as you said, he's sitting on their bench. He's motivating the team. He's with the team.
He's tied to that program. Big
he's a minister of culture,
Herman,
from what I understand, over on campus.
Hey, it's the ongoing question in the Lone Star State. Will Texas and Texas A&M ever renew their rivalry in football? Perhaps some progress, though, came out a couple of days ago. The Austin American-Statesman sat down with both school presidents. The theme coming out, they both want to see this game return. You think it's ever going to happen?
I actually do, but I don't think it's anytime soon. And it feels like we hear this a lot now, the people saying the right things. They want to get it done. Haven't played since 2011. I still don't think anytime in our near future, with scheduling, we're going to see it.
Which is unfortunate, because I think right now, with the way both these programs are going, it would be an amazing time for them to pick this rivalry back up.
Well, one point they made, and by the way, they've instructed both athletic directors to start doing some research, talking, and see if they can find something to make it happen. Problem is, the Big 12 schedule's so far way in advance. SEC really doesn't do that, so that's going to be a challenge, trying to find dates that work.
SEC also mixes in those non-conference games within the season, which the Big 12 really doesn't do. So there's a couple wrinkles in there, but Jimbo versus Tom Herman, that sounds okay.
I would take it. Hey, I'm glad they're at least talking about it. The presidents are certainly on board. Hey, still ahead on Sports Sunday. If you can coach, you can coach, right? That is the message you'll get from Mansa L rising up the coaching ranks.
She's not doing it on the boys' side. I've got her story next. Welcome back to Sports Sunday. There's Mansa L, right in the middle of the huddle, the boys' huddle, coaching the boys' JV at Cy Springs and in her second year as an assistant with the varsity. She's a former star player and women's college hoops coach. What she's doing now is significant, but no different for her.
Come on, bench,
That voice you hear isn't apparent in the stands.
Come on, defense.
Sounds a lot more like a coach.
I mean, somebody, let's go.
It's the voice of Mansa L.
Hey, why are you going for that way down there? You're just giving them a head full of steam to beat you.
Coach L, on the bench coaching for the Panthers.
Hands all over them. Good job.
She's the boys' junior varsity head coach and an assistant coach for the varsity.
They're trying to spread y'all out. Always get down to the level of the ball. Don't worry about it. Just sink. He can't shoot out here.
The first female coach on the boys' side in Cy-Fair ISD.
They were like, hey, if you want it, we want you. So just happened to bring me on.
Hired last season by Coach Sam Benitez, who's now at North Shore, Benitez didn't think twice about bringing the accomplished, knowledgeable, and experienced L on board to coach the boys.
We sat down with her, and it was a no-brainer. Her resume spoke for itself, and the first day she stepped on the court, I mean, it was obviously a great hire.
And the kids there, like at Cy Springs, just saw her as coach.
They were pretty receptive to her. All they had to do was see her highlight film.
She was like supposed to treat us like that. She helps us very, very much, and I appreciate her.
We need you to go help rebound. Good job.
And her knowledge about the game, it's unprecedented. Like when she talks and she's going over half-court defense, half-court offense.
Run with him, run with him, run with him.
It's obvious that she's super knowledgeable about the game. So you have no choice but to listen and learn, and they do a great job.
Pass, good pass.
Now working alongside Coach Larry Boykin in his first season as head coach.
Rotate!
He knew he needed L on the bench with him.
I knew as soon as I got the job and there was a possibility, I knew she was going to be my assistant. I like to go, and she likes to make sure that everything technical is put in there so it's perfect and it's a perfect fit for the whole team.
So how does L see herself as a coach?
I am intense. I'm very intense.
We are not boxing out.
My players tell me I just give them a stare, and they already know what they did wrong.
Elle knows she's breaking barriers, and she's proud to be doing so.
It's pretty amazing. I think it's just a blessing that I can be part of something that's bigger than myself. And I just think it's very special. The knowledge is all that's really, necessary to be on that next level.
You staying up here with him, he's standing in the corner. They trying to spread y'all out. Always get down to the level of the ball. Don't worry about it. Just sink. He can't shoot out here.
Her aspirations are simple.
My only dream is to be a head coach. Wherever that takes me and, whatever my path is, I believe it is going to happen.
That day certainly seems like it is coming. Now, I mentioned Elle was a baller, a state champ from Cy-Fair, a Division I star with South Alabama, and as she told me, they know that all that the kids know, all they want to do, she's done those things. And the coach-player relationship, of course, is very strong. And as you heard her in the piece, she knows the game, and that's what they know about her as Coach Elle. Our Super Bowl picks coming up in 2 minutes.
All right, welcome back to Sports Sunday. A little under a minute to go. We thought we'd end it with some Super Bowl talk. We're finally here, guys. We've made it now. 2 weeks from today, Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta.
You'll be going. Are you looking forward to it?
We'll be there starting on that Thursday of Super Bowl week. Jonathan Martinez will be there as well. What do y'all think of the matchup, Rams and the Patriots?
I think the matchup is terrible because I think it should have been the Chiefs.
She's still bitter about this.
I'm very bitter about how both those games went, but I think we're all tired of seeing the Patriots in there, but I am going to go with them because you don't bet against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we already had 2 matchups today of old versus young. We have one more, obviously, with Brady going against Goff. We talked about it a little bit earlier. No way I would say Patriots aren't going to win the Super Bowl. I know they haven't won them all, but it always seems like they do.
I hate to, we're all in agreement here on the Patriots. I like what the coaching matchup. We talk about the 2 quarterbacks, 41-year-old Tom Brady and 24-year-old Jared Goff. How about McVay and Belichick?
How about the other part of it? Wade Phillips got to figure out how to shut down Tom Brady.
Yeah, he does. He's been around. I think he can figure it out. We're going to find out. Lots of Super Bowl talk coming up in the next couple of weeks. Also, we'll be here with the Rockets and much more on the local end as well. For Lainey, Wex, I'm Randy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Have a good night.